to track in the run-up to the Uttar Pradesh elections. Before we start with our Power Packed Hour, let's very quickly start with the headlines. Delhi High Court grants bail to Pinjratod activists Devangna Kalita. Natasha Narwal hails right to protest, says protesting is not an act of terrorism. The man who sold the Ram Temple Trust is a SP worker. Sultan Ansari fought corporator polls on Samajwadi Party ticket, now under scanner as the temple board submits a detailed defense report to the centre. Lingayats unite to support Karnataka Chief Minister Yediyurappa as speculation continue over leadership change in the BJP state unit. All eyes on core committee meeting on 18th of June. Sasikala unfazed after AIADMK expelled 16 leaders for supporting her. Sasikala, in a phone conversation with Kader, says nobody can stop her return. Unprecedented protests amid the pandemic. Sukhbir Badal detained as hundreds of Akali protesters gather outside Chief Minister Amrinder Singh's residence in Mohali while 8 COVID norms. Nation remembers the braves of Kalwan on the first anniversary of the Himalayan brawl with Chinese troops. Tributes paid at War Memorial in Leh. Amid the raging controversy over the purchase of land for Ram Temple in Ayodhya, Ram Janmabhoomi Trust has now issued a point-by-point defense of the deal and denied any wrongdoing. The Temple Trust has stated the purchased land is situated at a very prime location, and that is the reason why it has been purchased at a price much lower than the actual, in fact, price. India Today learns that the Temple Trust also sent a factual report on the purchase of the land to the central government, BJP and the RSS, wherein it has explained the difference in price and termed the charges against the Temple Trust as concocted by the political rivals of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
अखिलेश यादव ने कहा है कि जमीन घोटाला हुआ है अयोध्या में, मुख्यमंत्री को उसका जवाब देना चाहिए कि 2 करोड़ की जमीन इतने महंगे में कैसे बिकी।
पहले श्री अखिलेश यादव जी और उनकी पार्टी इस बात का जवाब दे कि अयोध्या में निहत्थे राम भक्तों पर गोली क्यों चलाई, अयोध्या में राम भक्तों के खून से होली क्यों खेली, और उनको यह सवाल करने का नैतिक अधिकार नहीं है। घोटाला शब्द का प्रयोग करना यह अनुचित है। कोई घोटाला नहीं हुआ है। देश के राम भक्तों का भरोसा और विश्वास श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र ट्रस्ट के प्रति था, है और आगे भी रहेगा। और जो राम भक्तों की भावनाओं के साथ खिलवाड़ करने की या घटिया राजनीति करने की कोशिश चाहे सपा या अन्य कोई भी दल कर रहा है, उसको निश्चित तौर से जवाब राम भक्त देंगे।
देश की जनता को श्री राम तीर्थ क्षेत्र ट्रस्ट पर पूर्ण विश्वास था, है और रहेगा। सब कुछ पारदर्शी है, सामने है। किसी भी जमीन की कीमत बढ़ना ये हमेशा होता रहता है। ये वो सब नेता हैं जिन्होंने राम के अस्तित्व को मानने से भी इनकार किया हुआ है। ये केवल बात का बतंगड़ बना रहे हैं।
कोई भी जमीन जब कोई भी व्यक्ति या संस्था लेगी तो निश्चित रूप से उसका पीछे का कागज दुरुस्त करके ही लेगी। तो जिसने भी जब भी एग्रीमेंट किया हो 10 साल पहले, 12 साल पहले, लेकिन उसके एग्रीमेंट की लीगल पूर्ति तो होनी चाहिए, तभी ले सकता है जन्मभूमि ट्रस्ट। और वही हुआ है। जो किसी का भी जिसने एग्रीमेंट किया था उस जमीन पे, तो पूरी अयोध्या के उस जमीन पे ही विवाद हो गया था। तो जिसने भी जिससे जमीन लिया है, जिसने ट्रस्ट को दिया, उसका अपना विवाद था। तो 10 साल पहले का एग्रीमेंट है।
Now, the defense has come in, but the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, how is it that there were same witnesses on the purchase of the deed of two, in fact, of this land, which has been done in just a matter of 10 minutes. Same for somebody selling it to two other people, those who have now then gone on and sold it to the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust. Now, 2 days after the Aam Aadmi Party and the Samajwadi Party alleged a big scam in the purchase of the Ram temple in Ayodhya, it has come to light that one of the sellers of the land bought this by the Ram Temple Trust is actually a Samajwadi Party worker. Sultan Ansari contested local corporation polls, is believed to be close to the Samajwadi Party leader and former MLA Pawan Pandey, who levelled accusations of wrongdoing in the land purchase. Pawan had alleged that the land, which was bought for 2 crore rupees, was sold to the Temple Trust at an inflated price of 18 crore. Similarly, allegations were also levelled by the Aam Aadmi Party Sanjay Singh. However, the trust has dismissed these allegations, calling them politically motivated, and have also dismissed any demand for any sort of investigation into these allegations.
2 करोड़ रुपया 19 में जो है इसका रेट आया।
1 करोड़ से 2 करोड़ कैसे हुआ?
क्योंकि समय इतना अंतराल जो है बढ़ा, उसके हिसाब से जिससे हमारे एग्रीमेंट हुआ उससे ये डील हुई कि भाई हम 2 करोड़ में देंगे, 1 करोड़ में आप नहीं देंगे। सर्किल रेट बढ़ गया 2 करोड़ रुपये में हमारी उनकी डील हो गई। ये सन 2011 से 11 साल में ये हुआ है। तो चूँकि आज से 10 साल पहले हमने जो ज़मीन खरीदा था, उसको अगर हम आज से 11 साल के बाद जो है अगर हम उसको बेच रहे हैं तो ये कोई मिनटों का सौदा नहीं है, काफ़ी पुराना जो है।
Meanwhile, a few people staged protests outside Aam Aadmi Party MP Sanjay Singh's residence in Delhi days after he alleged that the scam has come to fore in the purchase of the land for Ram Temple. This happened in the national capital.
आज इन चंदा चोरों को जेल में डालने के बजाय संजय सिंह के ऊपर हमला हो रहा है। मैं बहुत साफ तौर पे कहना चाहता हूं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों, कान खोलकर सुन लो और पूरी की पूरी केंद्र सरकार सुन लो। चाहे मेरी हत्या हो जाए, लेकिन मैं इन चंदा चोरों को जेल भिजवाकर ही दम लूंगा। अब मैं चुप बैठने वाला नहीं हूं इसमें।
As Ayodhya alleged land deal scam is now taking a political shape, here at New Delhi's residence of Aam Aadmi Party Member of Parliament Sanjay Singh, protesters came out and painted with black ink the nameplate of Sanjay Singh at his residence, and this is the man who claimed to be a Ram Bhakt. These two men started shouting slogan here, painted his nameplate. Now the AAP workers have taken him. He'll be sent to the police. The police complaint has now been filed. But there you see how the battle which is escalating in Ayodhya, now the protest at MP's residence in New Delhi. With Sanjay Kumar, this is Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor, India Today, is with us at this moment for more on this story. Rahul, what I want to understand, from you, at a time when the government, the Bharatiya Janata Party is vociferously coming out, all top leaders in defense of the Temple Trust. The Temple Trust says we have done nothing wrong, and there doesn't seem to be, in fact, any agreement as far as any investigation is concerned. Has the BJP decided that this is a non-political issue? There is nothing that it is going to do harm them politically. That is why they are coming out and defending it, not investigating the matter.
Ankit, investigation apart, if you see, yesterday I had said that eventually the BJP, VHP and the Sangh Parivar will come out with a stand that these charges are being leveled by those who were opposed to the temple, and that's already unfolding. Now, as far as this deal is concerned, Ankit, there is a timeline in its fact report that the Temple Trust has submitted to the RSS, the BJP, men in the government like Amit Shah, the Home Minister. There are few curious elements. In 2011, there is a timeline. In 2011, there were 4 plots costing 1 crore. Eventually, what has been bought is 3 plots, 1.2 hectare of land. 1 crore, it travels down to 18.5 crore. What is curious is that in the gentleman who bought the land, Mohammad Sultan Ansari and others, it seemed had a premonition that somewhere this land will be cost more or will bring them more money. Because if you recall, the order of the Supreme Court came in November 2019. And when is this land deal struck with the Pathaks who owned the land was on the 17th of September 2019. That is barely 2 months before the order came. They have repitched for an old land for which the deal was cancelled and gone in and bought that land. Samajwadi Party was not in power at that time. So the Samajwadi Party role in this cannot be really blamed for whatever is happening.
Yes.
Mr. Mohammad Sultan Ansari is a lawyer. And if one looks at it, yes, he has association with the Samajwadi Party. But the fact is that a small-time lawyer pitches for a land which on future date is bought by the Janmbhoomi Trust, Ram Temple Construction Trust, and there is barely a minute of difference between the deal being finalized from one person to another and then to the third party. A probe is needed, but I think the BJP and others will brazen it out and eventually try to use it politically, that it is the people against the Ram Temple who are targeting yet again out in the open. Their political tendency is out in the open.
So a suspicious land deal, to say the least, would be used by the Bharatiya Janata Party and its allies to say that this is another roadblock, that the people, those who were always against the Ram Temple, opposed to it, are now posing in the construction of the Ram Temple. That's the political spin. But for thousands and thousands of people, those who have given their money, possibly more transparency would be better. Thank you so much, Rahul Srivastava, for joining us and just putting this entire timeline in perspective for our viewers. I want to shift focus to the other big story that we are tracking this evening. In a big verdict, the Delhi High Court in the Delhi riot case has granted bail to Pinjra Tod activist Natasha Narwal, Devangana Kalita and Jamia Millia Islamia student Asif Iqbal Tanha. Nearly a year after they were charged with UAPA Act, the High Court in its verdict also cornered the government in a scathing, in fact, indictment of the government. It said that this is an attempt to stifle democracy. Here is a detailed report on this.
In its anxiety to suppress dissent, in the mind of the state, the line between the constitutionality guaranteed right to protest and terrorist activities seems to be getting somewhat blurred. The scathing words from the Delhi High Court as it granted bail to activist Natasha Narwal in a 2020 Delhi riots case. The court then followed with this ominous declaration. If this mindset gains traction, it would be a sad day for democracy. After over a year in jail, the Delhi High Court on Tuesday granted bail to Pinjra Tod activist Natasha Narwal, Devangana Kalita and Jamia student Asif Iqbal Tanha. They were arrested in May last year under the stringent UAPA law, charged with premeditated conspiracy in the Delhi riots. In May, Natasha Narwal was granted brief bail to cremate her father, Mahavir Narwal, who had passed away from COVID-19 during the second wave. She had surrendered soon after. The arrest of the three has become a rallying point of civil society anger against the jail instead of bail impulse. Putting that precise impulse under its hammer, the Delhi High Court observed, "It is well settled that detention in custody pending completion of trial can cause great hardship to an accused, that it is improper for any court to refuse bail as a mark of disapproval of the past conduct or to refuse bail to a person yet to be convicted only to give him a taste of imprisonment as a lesson." The judgment is a strong one and emphasizes the principle of bail not jail, seen to have been flouted repeatedly in recent times. Even more scathingly, in the Asif Iqbal Tanha judgment, the Delhi High Court observes, upon a closer scrutiny of the submissions made on behalf of the state, we find that the submissions are based upon inferences drawn by the prosecuting agency and not upon factual allegations.
Protest is not terrorism, and even a call for a chakka jam is not equivalent to terrorist activity. That is the gist of the judgment of the Delhi High Court granting bail to the three activists today. The court has also cautioned courts that just because the government has sanctioned prosecution under strict UAPA provisions does not mean that the courts must accept that blindly.
Finally, in a declaration of support for the arrested activists as well as student protesters in general, the High Court observed, having given our anxious consideration to this aspect of likelihood of threat and terror, we are of the view that the foundations of our nation stand on surer footing than to be likely to be shaken by a protest, however vicious, organized by a tribe of college students. Natasha Narwal has become the face of the state's crackdown on its perceived enemies. The implications of today's observations by the Delhi High Court could have far-reaching consequences. With Anisha Mathur and Nalini Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, so very scathing remarks have been made by the High Court. And this, ladies and gentlemen, at a time, while you are seeing this, this comes at a time when, in fact, this entire UAPA Act dissent has been time and again has come under the scrutiny as far as the High Court is in the various courts are concerned, largely also saying dissent against the government is not against the country. Now, what are the key points which have been made by the Delhi High Court? The court has said the lines between the right to protest, in fact, and terror activity has been blurred by this charge sheet which has been filed as far as the Delhi police. Sad day for the democracy if this mindset gains traction. The court has also said submissions based on the inference, not facts. This is very scathing when it comes to the Delhi police, which has in fact presented all these inference as per the court, presented them as facts in front of the Delhi High Court. State can't be shaken by students' protests. It is right to protest, and that is something which the High Court seems to have been in fact protecting as far as this order, bail order, is concerned. Going across to my colleague Anisha Mathur, our legal correspondent, who is joining us at this moment with more details on this. Anisha, this is not only a scathing indictment as far as the Delhi police's case is concerned, but it has also far-reaching impact on the other Delhi riots case. There are many others, those who are still languishing in the jails pending trial.
Well, yes, Shiv, this judgment is going to have an impact also on the other matters that are going on. Remember, there are several other persons who've been accused whose bail hearings are scheduled later in this month or in the month of July. Now, what is the most important takeaway of this judgment? I will just summarize in about 3 sentences. First of all, that the UAPA cannot be frivolously used, that just because sanction for prosecution has been given by the centre does not mean that the court is bound to accept it. The judiciary must exercise their independent discretion. And thirdly, that protests, even when there are inflammatory statements, does not amount to preparation for a commission of terrorist act. So these 3 are the basic gist of this judgment. And it's not just one judgment, it's 3 separate judgments in Natasha's case, in Devangana's case, and in Asif's case, in all of which the court has said that you have not brought any prima facie evidence that gives a justification to keep them in jail. Back to you.
Thank you for joining us, Anisha. We'll have to wait and see if the prosecution decides to go, and they very likely are going to go, and in fact the Supreme Court to challenge the judgment. But this is one of the most scathing indictment of the Delhi police and also of the government of the day. All right, with that, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, welcome back. Now, it's not only Ayodhya land scam issue that has Uttar Pradesh politics simmering ahead of the assembly polls early next year. Now, 9 BSP rebel MLAs met Samajwadi Party Supremo Akhilesh Yadav. Soon after the meeting, Akhilesh proclaimed that 9 BSP MLAs will join the Samajwadi Party soon. There has been no immediate response from BSP or its Supremo Mayawati, which contested the 2019 national polls in Uttar Pradesh in alliance with Akhilesh Yadav's Samajwadi Party.
जिस पार्टी से हमको सम्मान 12 विधायक को मिलेगा, हम उसके साथ में रहेंगे। अभी हम लोगों ने किसी पार्टी की सदस्यता नहीं लिया है। जो दल के हम लोग एक दल बनाने जा रहे हैं, उस दल के हिसाब से हम लोग अपने दल के साथ में उस पार्टी में जाएंगे जो हमारे दल के नेता कहेंगे।
All right, Akhilesh Yadav spoke exclusively to India Today. Let me very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, now in fact tell you about the top things that he said. We asked him questions on the elections. We asked him questions also on the Ayodhya land scam issue. The alliance, what kind of an alliance are in fact we looking at as far as the upcoming elections are concerned? Is he going to go with Congress or the BSP once again? So what are the top 5 attacks? Akhilesh Yadav, in fact, in this completely no holds bar interview, he took on Narendra Modi, and he spoke about the vaccine hesitancy. He said Modi took unproven vaccines, so no foreign trips. In fact, he was talking about the Covaxin. He was attacking the Covaxin. In this, he so far has not taken the vaccine. I will take the vaccine only after everyone gets it, is something that Akhilesh Yadav has said. He has been under a lot of attack when the people have been talking about anti-vaxxers, saying that vaccine hesitancy is because of people like Akhilesh Yadav, those who have been speaking against it. He also spoke about the Ayodhya land deals, right? It's a big scam. All Ram Temple Trust members must quit, is the charge of former Samajwadi Party of the former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. He also ruled out tie-up with Congress BSP, while he's saying that there is going to be an alignment with the smaller parties ahead of the elections. So RLD would be in Akhilesh Yadav's big coalition that he's going to in fact lead in the 2022 elections of Uttar Pradesh. He said Yogi Adityanath government has failed in COVID fight and will lose the polls. That is the big proclamation by former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav. Without any further ado, let's very quickly take you to what he told India Today in this exclusive interview.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले के बाद पूरे देश की जनता ने ये मान लिया कि वहाँ मंदिर निर्माण होना है, रामलला का मंदिर निर्माण होने जा रहा है। और वहीं से ऐसी खबरें अगर आएं कि जहाँ पर भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है, तो कम से कम जिन पे आरोप लगे हैं, जो वो ट्रस्ट के मेंबर हैं, सबसे पहले तो उन ट्रस्ट के मेंबरों को अपने पद से इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए, क्योंकि मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम के लिए अगर कोई काम हो रहा हो और प्रश्न उन्हीं पे लग रहा हो जो ट्रस्ट के लोग हैं, जिन्हें संभालना है सब कुछ, तो जब तक ये भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप लगे हैं उन पर, तब तक सभी ट्रस्ट के मेंबरों को इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए। और जहां तक आज बता रहे हैं कि सर्किल रेट, मार्केट वैल्यू के हिसाब से उन्हें ज़मीन दी है, मैं उनसे जानना चाहता हूं। एक बहुत प्रतिष्ठित वहाँ गांव है धर्मपुर, वहाँ बहुत सारे किसान हमारे पास आए थे, जहाँ पर एयरपोर्ट बनना है। अगर एयरपोर्ट बनना है और ग्रामीण जनता तैयार है ज़मीन देने के लिए, वो यहाँ पर भी हमसे मिले, तो उस समय भी मैंने ये कहा कि सरकार से कहिए आप, और सरकार से मांग की थी कि 6 गुना सर्किल रेट बढ़ा करके मुआवजा दे दें, पूरे किसान वहाँ ज़मीन देने को तैयार हैं। आप बगल के गाँव को ज़्यादा मुआवजा दे रहे हैं, लेकिन उस गाँव को मुआवजा नहीं दे रहे हैं आप। तो आखिरकार कि कहाँ की आपकी नीति है? ये कोई विकास के लिए रोकना नहीं चाहता, विकास को कोई रोकना नहीं चाहता, और वहीं यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार हो गया हो इतना बड़ा। 2 करोड़ की जमीन आपने कितनी कीमत में ले ली, कुछ सेकंड में कितना भ्रष्टाचार कर दिया। और आखिरकार कर्मचारी क्या कर रहे थे, अधिकारी क्या कर रहे थे? सोचिए, इतना बड़ा घोटाला। ये केवल प्रश्न आज केवल हम लोग नहीं लगा रहे हैं, जनता के मन में भी ये प्रश्न लगा है कि आखिरकार ये हो क्या रहा था। समाजवादी पार्टी किसी भी बड़े दल के साथ गठबंधन करने नहीं जा रही है। समाजवादी पार्टी के सभी नेताओं की राय यह है कि छोटे दलों को शामिल कर लिया जाए। समाजवादी पार्टी आने वाले समय के चुनाव में जो होने जा रहे हैं, छोटे दलों से गठबंधन करके चुनाव लड़ेगी। कौन? समाजवादी पार्टी का गठबंधन पहले से जैन जी के साथ है, आरएलडी समाजवादी पार्टी के साथ है, इसी तरह महान दल के साथ समाजवादी पार्टी है, एक चौहान समाज का एक दल है, संजय चौहान उसके राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष हैं, उनके साथ समाजवादी पार्टी का गठबंधन है। तो इसी तरह छोटे दलों को शामिल करने का काम समाजवादी पार्टी लगातार करती रहेगी।
मतलब कांग्रेस और बहुजन समाजवादी पार्टी, राहुल गांधी और मायावती दोनों से तौबा कर लिया।
दोनों को ही गठबंधन समाजवादी पार्टी ने किया था, दोनों से ही समाजवादी पार्टी का अनुभव कोई अच्छा नहीं रहा, इसलिए समाजवादी पार्टी ने तय किया कि बड़े दलों के साथ गठबंधन नहीं करेंगे, जो छोटे दल हैं उनको साथ लाने का काम समाजवादी पार्टी करेगी। मैं जानना चाहता हूं उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री निकले बाहर, किस अस्पताल में गए? जो समाजवादी सरकारों में बने हुए अस्पताल हैं उन्हीं का निरीक्षण किया जा करके। कोविड में सबसे ज्यादा काम अगर कोई अस्पताल आए हैं तो समाजवादी सरकार के बने हुए अस्पताल काम आए। 108, 102 एम्बुलेंस जो उत्तर प्रदेश में लागू थी, समाजवादी सरकार में संख्या बढ़ा दी थी, वही एम्बुलेंस काम आई। मैं इनसे जानना चाहता हूं कि आखिरकार उत्तर प्रदेश के स्वास्थ्य को लेकर के कितनी चिंता थी। कोविड में बहुत समय मिला सरकार को, टीम 11 बनाई गई, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण अधिकारी बैठे टीम 11 में।
लेकिन योगी जी तो ये कह रहे हैं कि उनकी जो प्रशंसा पूरी दुनिया भर में हो रही है उनके काम को लेकर के, जिस ढंग से कोरोना को कंट्रोल किया गया।
हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जी को ये पता ही नहीं है कि विज्ञापन देकर के प्रशंसा हो रही है। उन्हें कम से कम ये तो पता करना चाहिए कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि विज्ञापन देकर के उनकी प्रशंसा हो रही हो। जिस तरीके से जनता परेशान हुई है कोविड के जमाने में, कोविड को लेकर के जो व्यवस्था सरकार को करनी चाहिए थी वो नहीं की। जनता को अनाथ छोड़ दिया है सरकार ने और लोगों को अपना इंतजाम खुद करना पड़ा। जो ऑक्सीजन नहीं पर्याप्त मिल पाई, दवाई नहीं मिल पाई, बिस्तर नहीं मिल पाए, लोग सड़कों पे घूमते रहे, लोग अस्पताल न पहुंच नहीं पाए, जान पहले चली गई। और कई परिवार ऐसे हैं जिनकी न जाने कितने सदस्यों की जान गई है। हम जानते हैं बुंदेलखंड में देख लीजिए, उत्तर प्रदेश के किसी हिस्से में देख लीजिए, लोग परेशान हैं आज महंगाई से, लोग परेशान हैं सरकार की नाकामी से। आखिरकार कैसे छिपाएंगे नाकामी? तो ये जो पंचायत के चुनाव हुए हैं, ये सही है कि पंचायत के चुनाव हैं, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं जनता का मन पता लग गया है। मुख्यमंत्री जी खुद अपनी परेशानी में हैं, सरकार परेशानी में है। कभी दिल्ली वाले लखनऊ चक्कर लगा रहे हैं, कभी लखनऊ वाले दिल्ली में चक्कर लगा रहे हैं। तो ये केवल पंचायत के चुनाव का असर है और मैं आपको यकीन दिलाता हूं उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता भारतीय जनता पार्टी को सबक सिखाने के लिए तैयार है। लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी जा नहीं पा रहे हैं विदेश, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि वो वैक्सीन लगवा ली हो जिससे विदेश यात्रा न कर पा रहे हो। तो सरकार को कम से कम अपनी नीयत साफ करनी चाहिए। और फिर उत्तर प्रदेश में जो जाने गई हैं, शिक्षकों की जान चली गई जिनको आपने इलेक्शन ड्यूटी पे लगाया था। सरकार से सवाल किया गया तो 3 बताया उन्होंने कि 3 लोगों की जान गई, आखिरी में 1600 निकले। इसी तरह पुलिस के कर्मचारी, पुलिस के सिपाहियों की जान गई है, कोर्ट के जजेस के लोगों की जान चली गई। आखिर क्या इंतजाम किया था सरकार ने? और ये सरकार वो है जो कब्रिस्तान और शमशान की बात कर रही थी। ये वो सरकार है जो जनता को अनाथ छोड़ देती है। अपने भरोसे पर रहिए आप। भारतीय जनता पार्टी वो सरकार है जिसने अनाथ छोड़ा है लोगों को।
Welcome back. With the COVID-19 restrictions easing in several states amid a steady decline in the number of cases being reported all across the country, now unlocking process have started. Markets, roads, metro stations are open. In many cases, people have been seen brazenly violating the COVID-19 norms. This would only increase the problem for the country further. Take a look at this story which tells you what is happening not only in the national capital, but also across the country.
Not 100, not 1,000. Over 5,000 cars entered Shimla in just a day. Just hours after Himachal Pradesh announced relaxation of curbs after a decline in COVID case load, endless traffic jams were seen in Solan district. In the mad rush to enter the hill state in the middle of a hot summer, revelers seem to have forgotten the pandemic is not over yet.
5,000 व्हीकल्स क्रॉस की शोगी के अंदर आई। दैट मीन्स टूरिस्ट इन्फ्लक्स बहुत बड़ा है। मेरा आग्रह रहेगा कि टूरिस्ट आएँ, आपका बहुत स्वागत है हमारे शिमला में, हमारे हिमाचल में। बट कोविड अभी भी हमारे बीच में है, भूलिएगा मत, लापरवाही मत कीजिए। जो भी प्रोटोकॉल है, खासकर मास्क वेयर करना, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, सैनिटाइजेशन का ध्यान रखना और इत्यादि, आप उनका ध्यान रखें।
The crowds are not limited to Himachal. In the national capital, people thronged markets as if there was no tomorrow. At metro stations, authorities closed few gates to restrict capacity to 50%.
अभी बस वही कह रहे हैं 50% है तो इसलिए अब ओपन होगा, मेट्रो आएगी, अब ओपन करेंगे शायद ये.
But that did not pan out well. People in Delhi aren't the only COVIDians. These images from Indore will shock you even more. All social distancing norms thrown to the wind. Having suffered the deadly COVID wave, one would have expected citizens to learn a few lessons from the harrowing 3 months. But clearly, that isn't the case. With Kumar Kunal in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
That's all the time that we have in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. I'll be back tomorrow, and on the other side of a